This video takes a detailed look at managing the cover page. It includes some common mistakes to avoid. In O.N.E, an official document cover page will be present by default when you create a new document. We'll cover how to replace this with a publication cover page later in the video. The cover page is directly editable. You simply need to complete the various fields. In some cases, you will need to type your own text. In others, you will need to choose from options in a drop-down menu. Once you have finished completing the fields, you will need to run the quality checks using the O.N.E add-in. This will validate the information on the cover page and will automatically complete the directorate, committee and working party. The header and footer on each page will also be updated with the document code and classification respectively. Now let's take a closer look at the anatomy of the cover page. The first thing to note about the cover page is that every piece of information is actually within what is known as a content control in Word. If you click within the various sample texts, you will see this. Even the logo is within a content control. All of the content controls, or fields as we will call them from now on, must be present to pass the quality checks. Fields may be blank, but not absent. You can think of it as like completing a form. If we switch on the paragraph markers, we can see that there is a section break and a page break. It is important not to modify these. You will also see that there is a disclaimer at the bottom of the page. It is also important that this doesn't get pushed down onto the next page. If you're working on a publication, you can go to the Insert tab and replace the official document cover page with a publication cover page. We will undo that last action for the purposes of the rest of the video. If you are preparing an official document in French, you can replace the default cover page with a French one straight away. If you have kept the default cover page and changed the language and classification fields to the relevant French options, that's fine too. Let's have a look now at 5 common mistakes to avoid when working with the cover page. Mistake number 1. Deleting the section break or the page break on the cover page. In Word, all cover pages must have a page break. It is crucial that it remains present in your O.N.E document. Consider leaving the paragraph markers displayed while working on the cover page to be sure you can see the page break and will not inadvertently delete it. It is also important that the section break remains present, as this controls the header. Mistake number 2. Removing the cover page instead of just reinserting it. If you need to reinsert or replace the cover page, you should do this directly by choosing the desired option under the Insert tab. In other words, you should not click on Remove Current Cover Page. Mistake number 3. Overloading the cover page. If you overload the cover page, it can result in the disclaimer getting pushed to the next page. All of the cover page content, including the disclaimer, needs to fit on one page. We would recommend keeping the title and subtitle as succinct as possible, ideally no more than one line each. Mistake number 4. Accidentally deleting a field when typing or pasting. To avoid this, there is a simple best practice to follow. Click in the relevant field, then click on the grey tab. You can now start typing your text. The same principle applies for pasting into the field, but there is one important additional step. Let's imagine we have copied some text that we want to paste into the Information Note field. We will follow the same steps as before. But instead of typing our text, we will paste using the shortcut Ctrl+V. If we were to stop here, we would have overwritten the field itself. The final and important step is to choose Keep Text Only from the Paste options. If you do overwrite any of the fields, the quality checks will return an error message indicating that some fields are missing from the cover page. The solution is to reinsert the cover page using the Cover Page button on the Insert tab. Please read the instructions on the error message carefully before doing so. Mistake number 5. Deleting a field that you don't need. Let's imagine that you don't need a subtitle. Don't try to delete the sample text. Just leave it as it is, and the sample text will be stripped out automatically when you run the quality checks. We mentioned earlier that cover page fields can be blank but not absent. This is a good example. The subtitle field is now blank, but it is still present. To end this video, let's run through a quick summary of the best practices covered. Do not delete the page break or section break from the cover page. Do not remove the current cover page before inserting a new one. Keep the title and subtitle succinct. Everything, including the disclaimer, needs to fit on one page. Follow the best practice for typing or pasting into the fields to avoid accidental deletion. Do not delete or move any of the fields. If you make a mistake, just undo it. Ctrl-Z. That completes this video demonstration. You can find additional resources on the One Author online help site.